Is entitled Almas del Silencio. I hope I got that right. Please welcome Ricky Martin. I'm sorry about all this. Yes, it's me. Okay. Come on, a bit of time for the guest. Yeah, that's cool. I like
How you doing,
that.
Smiley? Good to see you.
How are you doing? Enjoying yourself back in the country?
Glad to be back. Glad to be back in this beautiful country. It's been, I got here last Saturday, and I've been working. I've been working a lot, promoting the album, but it's always good.
Now, I read that you were getting about in disguise so people weren't bothering you when you were sightseeing. Is that true?
Give me a break. Oh. Come on. That would be too embarrassing. Can you imagine, even if you have like the mustache and the glasses and still they recognize you? That would be ridiculous. No, not at all. I went up to the zoo.
How was that?
You guys are from Australia. You've never been to the zoo here in Melbourne, right?
I've been to the zoo. I'm a fan of all zoos.
Yeah, I love animals. And I said, you know, I have the afternoon off. Let's go to the zoo. And it was cool.
Do you have a particular favourite animal at all?
Well, I wanted to see the koala. You know, I wanted to, like, pet the koala.
They didn't let you? They're very nasty. They have big claws and big teeth.
I had the eucalyptus. He was very nice.
Ah, good boy. Now, interesting fact, when I read my information on my guests, interesting fact about you, you were born on Christmas Eve.
December 24th.
How is that every year getting presents?
It's
Is it
horrible.
a bit of a bummer?
It's not cool at all. I shouldn't say that because, you know, most of my friends and my family, they always take, you know, make sure that they have the birthday gift and the Christmas gift. It was great. There's always a party going on in your birthday. So
that's true, yes.
You don't have to throw a party. You go to everyone's party and you have fun, you know, so it was great.
On your birthday, the whole world celebrates, which is fantastic.
The entire planet is having a
Ricky Martin party.
Right, good for the ego.
Now,
it's all about me.
Now, you got straight into performing pretty much. You were doing commercials from the age of 7.
That's right.
By the age of 12, you were in, as a young boy in the band Menudo.
Menudo, that's right. From 1984, I'm sorry, till 1989. I was part of this band. Then I moved to New York. I went to New York for a little while. I wanted to do nothing. I wanted to step away from the spotlight, you know, after spending the most important years of any person, you know, from the age of 12 to 17. I wanted to feel a little bit of the anonymity, you know. And then after that, I moved to Mexico City and I started doing theater. I did soap operas. That's where I recorded my first album as a soloist. Then I went to Los Angeles, where I did General Hospital.
Oh, Miguel.
You got it down.
Miguel. But you got to do the eyebrows, Miguel.
Yeah, it's so dramatic, right?
Oh, yes.
It's intense. And then after that, I went to New York. Then after that, never do it again. But it's okay. It was good while it lasted. And then I went to New York and I did theater. I did Broadway, and it was beautiful. I did Les Mis, and that is something that I would definitely want to go back to.
Now, being such a young child and going, you haven't stopped since you were 12. You went right through. Did you get the chance to have like a proper upbringing, to go to school and things like that?
We had tutors that would travel with us, and we would go to school from 7 days a week, including Saturdays and Sundays, and it was kind of weird. You know, my classroom was a hotel room. I shouldn't complain about anything. I think I was, live gave me the opportunity to do whatever I wanted to do. I always wanted to be on stage. Let's put it that way. I loved music. I always loved dancing, and I did this audition for the band, and I was accepted. And then those first 5 years, I think it was a very intense adrenaline. When we talk about learning, it was a very intense learning experience, and I would do it all over again. It was great, man.
We've actually got some footage here of you from your days in Menudo. Have a look at this. This is a young...
God,
even at this stage, look at the heartthrob. You can see it wanting to burst out here. This is doing Just a Gigolo. And look, there's early moves. You're already incorporating them. Shaking your bonbon even way back then. Now, when you did, obviously, you sung The Cup of Life, which was the song that you had written for the World Cup. That was the song that launched you upon the world stage. Was it important for you to then tackle the English-speaking market?
You know, by then I had already recorded in Portuguese. I had done versions in French. Why not in English? It was almost ridiculous. And that's where we started working on this dialect that we created, the Spanglish.
Yes.
You know, verses in English, chorus in Spanish kind of thing. And it worked out beautifully. That song was #1 in like 28 countries. And it did really well. I mean, for me, the most important thing was to educate people about, you know, who I was and where I was coming from. It was important for me to, you know, get rid of cliches and stereotypes, and it was cool because with fusion, musically speaking, I broke boundaries, and then I was invited in 1998 for the Grammy Award ceremony, and then that was it. And I swear, when I walked on stage, it was all about having fun, like always, and enjoying. I was not nervous. I mean, Madonna was there, Sting was there, even Luciano Pavarotti was there as well. But I didn't think about that. It was all about performing. It was about doing what I had done for many years. And I don't know what happened. Next morning, it was crazy. I was all over the papers. Next morning, Madonna was calling me, "Hey, how you doing? Let's work together." And I said, I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, I didn't get it for a moment. It was very intense. I swear that ever since, the way I was used to working never changed. I always enjoy what I do. I don't know how to say no. I always say yes to anything that has to do with music, to anything that has to do with me performing. And it was beautiful. It was intense. The Latin explosion showed up. I don't know if I was comfortable with that, because for me, Latin boom is always there, because boom is in my blood. You know, it's who I am. I found it a little bit racist for a moment. But then I understood that it was all about letting people know that it doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter what your cultural background is. It's all about letting your emotions flow and just feel. I had the opportunity to go to India. I had the opportunity to go to visit, you know, every country in Europe, of course, Australia, and the most beautiful thing is to realize that we all have a soul, and it's all the same.
But you did take a break after a while, after being performing since you were 12.
Right.
You'd come off a tour that was took 2 years to complete. Over 2 million people came to see you in total, not just at once. That would be a pretty big show.
Imagine.
Which I think, if anyone could do it, it would be you.
Thank you.
But then you decided to take a break. Was that a tough decision to make, and even a tougher decision to come back after that?
It was all about the need for me to find balance. It was all about the need to put my feet on the ground once again. Fame is beautiful, but it could be dangerous if...
Well, you did say at the time that you realised, there was a quote I read where you said you realised you had more cars than friends. Was that part of your decision to...
That's one of the songs here. I have more cars than friends. Well, that's cool, but you know, I have my friends, I can count them with one hand, and I feel millionaire when we talk about friendship. It was all about searching within, you know. Everything was so fast, and it was starting to get automatic, and that's not right. You have to make the right decision, and not to make this decision in a compulsive way. You have to know how to connect your heart and your mind, because if you make decisions with your mind only, too robotic. With your heart only, too passionate. And I was losing that ability. And that's why I wanted to go back home. I built a studio in my house, and I've vacation, quote unquote. I've been working. I worked on the production of this album. I worked on the production of an English album that is coming out in February, a completely different album. And it was all about creating and daring to feel, daring to search within and explore and really sense emotions that weren't there anymore for a long time. It was all about going back to the child and having fun with simple stuff. And it's all in this album, and that's why I'm here today, guys. I hope you enjoy it, really.
We'll be back to sing this. Before you do go, can you show me how to shake my bonbon?
Of course, man.
Is there a key to it? Is there a key? What do I need to know?
Yeah, you have to bend your knees.
Can do.
And just go.
You love that, baby? You love that? Is that it? Am I doing it?
You got it, man.
Oh, like
it's all about, you know, some people, how do you do that? You know, I don't want to do it. I can't do that, you know. No. Dare to feel ridiculous and you do a good job.
That's what I do for a living. He'll be back to sing for us in a sec. Ricky Martin, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Sensational. Thank you.